All right, before we do that, our top focus this hour, of course, developments are taking place in Gujarat. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Spanish President Pedro Sanchez have inaugurated the Tata Airbus C295 aircraft plant in Vadodara. The plant is established by Tata Advanced Systems in collaboration with Airbus Spain, representing India's first private sector final assembly line for military aircraft. It aims to bolster the domestic aerospace industry and enhance the nation's self-reliance. The C295 program involves the production of 56 aircrafts, with 16 units being delivered directly from Spain and the remaining 40 manufactured at the new facility. Joining us at this point of time is Major General Sudhakarji, defense expert. So thank you so much for being rather patient with us on Newsx. Both the speeches have now taken place in Vadodara, and what we do garner from that is the fact that India is now operating in a completely different mental orbit. The fact that the goals are bigger, the vision is bigger, and that's something that's been highlighted in the Prime Minister's statement. He's also in fact spoken about something very particular. He said that the right planning and partnership is key to growth. With that being said, how is India good for Spain and vice versa, especially when it comes to defense?
Asafri, good morning. Is that question to me?
Absolutely, sir.
Firstly, thank you for getting me to your show. Compliments to you. The way you have developed the narrative and covered and anchored the proceedings is remarkable, as always, in Newsx channel. Most significant thing is today is a historic day. Historic day for many reasons, but one of the primary reasons is what is actually happening at Vadodara. India, for one, under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi, it has been able to analyze the global paradigm and started shaping the environment to become a global leader by 2047 or earlier than that. And hence, it is putting its finger on the right point to develop an ecosystem, because if the ecosystem is non-existent, no primary establishment or a production defense line like the way you explained can sustain itself. So I feel that the present dispensation in power in India is going great length, be it the external affairs minister, be it the prime minister himself, or the entire cabinet, or the people who are in the governance today. Their vision has got extended because the sphere of influence of India is no longer from Persian Gulf to Malacca Strait. From Persian Gulf, it has got extended to Mediterranean, and from Malacca Strait, it has gone up to South China Sea and beyond. Having said that, you see the recent visit of Honorable Prime Minister, let's say Poland, German Chancellor was here in India, France, Italy, Spain. These are the power centers of Europe. He has touched and galvanized, I would say he has harnessed the potential to collaborate and also take forward very significant steps as to how India can become the hub. Aerospace industry, mind you, is one of the primary and central industries for the defense lineup. And if that actually develops in India by virtue of the geostrategic importance and the geographical location of India, like it is given in a book called Monsoon, the Indian Ocean and the Future of American Power by Robert D. Kaplan, wherein he emphasizes the increasing importance of South Asia in shaping global power, particularly India and Indian Ocean region. It comes out loud and clearly that this century is Asia century, but within Asia it is India which is going to be the center of gravity of the entire global order. So having said that, I personally feel C295 is a cargo and a transport aircraft. It has got the capability to transport anything up to 71 passengers or 50 paratroopers. It has got the distinction between an Avro aircraft, which it is replacing today, and that of C295. C295 has got a ramp towards the behind, towards the rear of the aircraft. You can load any amount of thing depending on its capacity. And the best part is today's military threat, whether along the border or along the coastline or the maritime challenges that India faces, there is a requirement of having some means and method to transport suitable response matrix, prepare troops from place A to place B in shortest possible time. This craft also should be able to land at advanced landing grounds, be it at the high altitude or at lower altitude. This aircraft has the ability to fly or cruise beyond 30,000 feet in the sky. So what does it bring me to? It brings me to the fact that here is something substantive which is happening, going to be produced under the brand name of Make in India, and India soon is going to start exporting, like the Honorable Prime Minister gave out in his speech. The best part that the Prime Minister emphasized also, in addition to what you said, is between planning and execution. When he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat, he gave an example how he has reduced the gestation period. By reducing the gestation period, it conveys the intent and the objective of a nation in the march of the global power status. This is to be very, very long, 10 years, 20 years, some of them never took off. So therefore, he as a Prime Minister and his team in the PMO, they are doing a great job by making sure, taking a feedback from the ground, getting up to these people and making sure that the plant is ready well ahead of time, and so the production actually takes off in earnest. So these are certain things. Decision making is important, but more important than decision making is implementation. Last but not the least, in response to your question, yes, you're right, planning and partnership definitely calls the shot in today's environment in 21st century. The global order is no longer what is to be there in geopolitics of Cold War 1.0. It's a multilateral world, and India has been able to assert its national interests with deep conviction, and been able to partner with countries which are able to support its national interest and to develop a growth story of 2047 and beyond. And with that, I would say that Honorable Prime Minister has made a humble beginning. This may be first of its kind. There are many more things which are coming up in India, which perhaps the public is unaware of. But this is a master stroke. I personally feel by having collaborated with Spain, we have established a kind of an entry point, whether it is the culture, or you talk about quantum computing, talk about artificial intelligence, in which Spain is a leader. You talk about missile production, surveillance equipment, or the aerospace industry, anything. Spain is one of the primary leaders in the world today in this particular paradigm. With having collaborated with Spain and like-minded countries around, I think India is taking in the right step in earnest, and it is definitely destined to pay dividends for the larger growth story of India. Back to you, Saudi.
Right, sir, absolutely. With that, I'd like to thank you for joining us on the broadcast, sharing your perspectives with our viewers. With that being said, my colleague Mahima Kataria joins us on the broadcast. Mahima, now, of course, the inauguration of the Tata aircraft complex is now done with. What's next on the agenda?
Well, Sabri, before going to what next on the agenda, we need to know and give viewers a glimpse that what exactly Prime Minister Narendra Modi stated on the inauguration of Tata Aircraft Complex manufacturing C295 aircraft, wherein Prime Minister Narendra Modi stated, firstly, he started off that this is my friend Pedro's first visit to India, like he correctly pointed out. After 18 years, Prime Minister of Spain visited India, and that is what Prime Minister Narendra Modi started off his speech with. And he also stated that we are giving a new direction to India and Spain partnership. We are inaugurating the production factory, C295 aircraft. This factory will strengthen India-Spain relations as well as Make in India, Make for the World mission, Make for the World vision. Was the vision also given by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi further stated that recently, and also he remembered Ratan Tata when he said that we lost the country's great son, Ratan Tata ji. If he had been among us today, we would have been happy. But wherever his soul is, he would be happy. The C295 aircraft factory reflects the new work culture of New India. When I was the Gujarat Chief Minister, it was decided to set up a factory in Vadodara to build train coaches. The factory was also prepared for production within a record time, and today we are exporting the metro coaches manufactured in the factory to other countries, and I'm confident that in the future aircraft made in the factory will also be exported to the other countries. So that is what Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed in that particular inauguration of the complex. And further, he will be having a brunch with the Spain Prime Minister, and also bilateral talks are expected. Like we also heard from Major that how it is very important, whether it is quantum, whether it is trade, whether it is culture. And now, this particular inauguration where Prime Minister himself has stated that this time he is confident enough that in the future, aircraft made in the factory will also be exported for the other countries, like we export the metro coaches. So, of course, this is New India, the Viksit Bharat that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has always spoken about, the Viksit Bharat 2047. A new step towards Viksit Bharat is this particular inauguration that happened in Vadodara. Yes.
Right, absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing all those details and giving us, in fact, a synopsis of what the two world leaders have said. Thank you so much, Mahima. In fact, joining us at this point of time is Mr. Sumit Peer, political commentator. So thank you so much for taking our time and speaking to us on Newsx. Now, you know, the Prime Minister has spoken about a slew of things, but I'm just going to quote a couple of things that he said. He said that Make in India is made for the world is the message that is now echoing with, of course, the inauguration of this complex. And with that being said, he's also said that this complex has been built from scratch in just a span of 2 years, and it's now in fact ready for production. With that being said, how is then the world viewing India, whether it comes to planning, execution, and doing it promptly?
Good morning to you and good morning to all the viewers. Thanks for having me on the show. Well, it's a very clear message. Look, there's a difference between what we do and what others do. First of all, I remember around 2 years back when we were laying the foundation stone, I was on your channel. And I could not have expected, or nobody could have imagined that 2 years from now we'll be talking on the plant getting ready, inaugurated, and getting into production. You know, we are not manufacturing here, matchboxes. We are talking of C295 aircraft, which is a big thing. I mean, jahaz bana rahe, right? If we can say in Hindi. But so doing that in a span of 2 years in itself is an achievement. Is a great benchmark. I think this has set the benchmark for all of the aircraft industry, because if you look at the time that C80 aircraft, Airbus C80 came into production, it was years. Now we're doing in such a short span of time talks of brilliant Indian work, planning, execution. Congratulations to the Tata, congratulations to Honorable Prime Minister, and congratulations to the people of Spain and the Honorable Prime Minister of Spain. You know, this is a great step, and Modi ji rightly said he's my friend. And you know, that vision of Prime Minister Modi, make in India for the world. Look, the difference is when we are making this aircraft, which will be made in India, it will be also exported. So for the first time, India will be exporting, aircraft, which jahaz export kar rahe hain, if I can say anything. So, you know, it's a big thing. It's a big thing when you look from a country's perspective. And what is the difference between make in India and make in any other thing? When we make in India, we make for ourselves, or we make for the world. Like there are our hostile neighbors. When they make things, they put those softwares in them. They put those bugs in them which steal data. So when India does it, it is not for that pursuit. It is really for the global good. It is for the global development. The manufacturing of such sensitive equipment in India will be much trusted than our neighbor on the, what I mean. So where we had a lot of stand-ups. So now, if you ask any country, there's a plane which is made in India and there's a plane which is made in our next neighbor's house, which will you buy? Obviously, they will be made in India. So it is made in India, made for the world. That is the difference. It's not only for India, because whatever India does, whatever India achieves, hum to benefit karte hi karte hain. But we also give it to the world. Like if you look in BRICS, Prime Minister Modi offered them the UPI. Prime Minister Modi offered them the Indian payment systems. We offered them Covaxin. We had offered them the Covishield platforms. So the idea is that, what we make for the collective good of the world. We are reliable. And it's a great benchmark. Trust me, ma'am, in 24 months, getting a jahaz ka karkhana up and running and getting it ready for production it's not a kid stock. It's no kidding here. You can't even get a house ready in 24 months. Even if I were going to get a new studio ready, I think it will take more than 24 months for you and us to get a new studio ready. But getting a full-fledged karkhana ready and inaugurating and ready for production is a new benchmark. I think the world should be happy about it. The people in Spain should be happy about it, because even if they would have tried to do it, they would have not done in such a short span of time. And let's not forget, Tata is a very reliable, group, and they are very nice and gentle people. They live to their repute and they live to their goodwill. So it's a good combination. It's Spanish, it's Modi's vision, it's Make in India, it is Gujarat, it is Tata. It's all a combination, a package, which is for the good of India and for the good of the world. Yes, our neighbors who have hostile ambitions or hostile plans vis-a-vis us, they will not be happy today. They will have those nightmares today, which is okay. Let them have their nightmares. But I think, in my opinion, as a proud Indian today, we have cemented our entry into aircraft business, which is not only for made in India but also for the whole world. It's like, still, if you look at it, look, BrahMos is the most potent missile in that category. So this is going to be that kind of a feeling and that kind of a euphoria which is going to live on and prevail. Yes, our enemies will have a chill down just fine. Let them have that, and we have all the joy and pleasure to rejoice about today.
Right, absolutely. So thank you so much for taking our time and speaking to us on Newsx, and of course sharing your insights with us. Still with us on the broadcast is the Major General Sudhakarji. Sir, the bond harmony between the two countries is apparent. The Prime Minister spoke about how there was a win that the Barcelona team witnessed. There was also, in fact, the Spanish Prime Minister also remembered the revered sitarist Sri Ravi Shankarji. So that is apparent that there are good relations between the two countries. With that being said, and just quoting from what Mr. Sumit Peer said, the fact that the two countries are now looking at a long-term vision, at long-term relations, that does not seem to be good news, or in fact the neighbors would not perhaps look at it as good news. How do you then view those developments that are coming in, and how are our neighboring countries then looking at these developments in your assessment?
There is an old saying, Asabri, you raised a very good point. In fact, let me also confess through your channel, I am a great admirer of Sumit Peer, and he is a very learned person, deep insight into all the subjects in the world. So whatever he says, it's a pearl of wisdom for all of us. But simply to reinforce what he has said, care a damn about what others feel. You see, if we have to go ahead, if the nation has to march ahead to become a developed country, you have to disregard all these peripherals. These kind of disturbances, these kind of conspiracy, these kind of, Thucydides trap of letting down India, creating Bangladesh here, Myanmar there, and coming on to Doklam, reviving the proxy war, they let them carry on. I think the present dispensation in power or governance in India has adopted a right approach towards the growth of India's story. And if you start, it's like, if a dog keeps on barking, do you keep throwing stones at the dog? Certainly not. These are all life-making lessons. So if you want to go ahead, just simply march ahead. Disregard all these people throwing stones at you and continue with your noble objective of taking. We have a large population, 1.45 million is a huge population. We have the largest youth bulge. Our aim should be to give employment to as many people. Today we are registering, if I respect my memory, around 8 to 9% of unemployment in our country. And our objective should be to pull up our people from who are below the poverty line and improve the quality of life. Earlier they used to demand roti, kapda, makan. Now the time has come, people have started demanding sadak, bijli, pani. Now next stage they should be talking about the artificial intelligence, quantum computing, blockchain. They should be talking energy storage. But above all, how do you balance out? The larger perspective is the issue which the citizen of India should be looking for and deriving deeper meaning behind all such kind of things. But the bigger issue is that, yes, when we have a concept like, one earth, one family, one future, you have a point in what you are saying. There is a need to carry everyone along. You got to be a shepherd. You have to be a global leader who's standing behind the flock of sheep, chasing them and marching ahead. There is a point in what you are saying. But I personally feel for a couple of years, maybe 7, 10, 15 years, until our economy is strong enough, say 10, 15 trillion dollar, you need to ignore all such kind of stupid things happening, particularly Pakistan and China. I only hope it changes its stature and its orientation to become a global leader by 2014. Well, I suspect that, whether it will change or not. But the fact of the matter is we need to strategize our approach, make it short term, medium term, long term, have at different levels, local level, your national level, regional level and the global level, identify the objectives, what all we can achieve within the given means. Today we are a $3.94 trillion economy. We are looking at, becoming 4.5 or 5 next about 1 year's time. Thereafter, once we are stable, and we can breathe freely, maybe that time will come wherein we need to take all these people who are envious of our progress and bring some sanity into their thought process, try and prevail upon them not to promote proxy war, look towards the progress and development of their own people, write a fresh constitution as far as Pakistan is concerned, look towards the development and employment of the people of Pakistan, not indulge in becoming an epicenter of terrorism. We are producing aircrafts now. So Pakistan is producing terrorists. What is the comparison? Where is, how do you draw the parallel? So some sense must go into them. That is a good message which is going to the neighbors. It's better they wake up and tag along with India towards a progressive, peace, harmonious, and issues which can be resolved by diplomacy, dialogue. That's a very fantastic philosophy of the present dispensation. I respect it.
For more such videos, subscribe to the Newsx YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.